We begin this section with policies. Policies are a given set of rules or proper behavior, and if the behavior is broken, then there will be an outline of penalties. Negative people often use what's called a reverse policy, and this is to punish the people who are abiding by policies and reward negative people who break the policies, as in the Christ effect, in which a convicted murderer was sentenced to death and was set free instead of receiving punishment, and the innocent person who was wrongly accused was sentenced to be crucified, because he is not under this control of deception. Reverse policy goes on every day, and it is to our shame. Such tactics are used by negative individuals who persecute others for something they had never committed or something they had not done or intended, and gives negative individuals the ability to lie and deceive, to punish at any time, even those who do abide by the rules. The reason negative people continue to behave negatively is due to the fact that there are negative people in key places who enforce this reverse policy. It is like a parent who punishes the good child and rewards the bad child to get them to both feel negative and therefore control them both at the same time. There are even negative corporations that will make policies and procedures manuals that are contradictory and unclear, so the corporation can punish anyone at any time. The negative force has the power to make you lose outwardly, but physically you will always win on principle, and that is truth. Choose to hold your head up high in any occasions, and not give in or give up with this psychological deception that many people are on or have been on. And from there, we move on to goals. Having goals is very important to your well-being and happiness. No matter how big or small your goals are, you can still choose to have them. And if you do not have goals, other people will get you to achieve their goals. Your goals are basically a wish list of what you want, and your goals will be going into smaller and smaller components, such as going into your plans, then going into your to-dos, and then setting forth your objectives, then into your procedures, and lastly into the steps. So the goal is the outward objective, and then it breaks down into smaller components, which then you go into interactions which can be positive or negative with other individuals that can help you or hurt you. But as stated before, it is not the fact that you actually achieve your goals, but that you are moving towards them, and determination that you will not give up. As a matter of fact, some people enjoy the climb as opposed to having had reached the mountaintops. A person without goals is like a bird without wings. So if you choose to stay positive and strong during any particular struggle, or else become self-defeated. Must always keep track in an orderly system, so you can differentiate what is being kept track logically and what is being kept track illogically, as negative people do. And continue this orderly system in which something is documented, such as a series of events, the location of places, the location of your belongings, what you were told, what you were being told, what is done, and keeping track of dates, names, times, procedures, policies, supplies, and patterns. Keeping track is very important to understanding what is being said and done, because many people will use the fact that you do not keep track against you, including all incorrect information. And therefore, they had said something else instead of saying what they actually was to say. In order to keep correct information, they would give you incorrect information, telling you that they had done something when they have not done something. So they're going against their very own procedure, and then penalizing you for a policy that they made the mistake on the procedure, telling you that they have written something and claiming to say they did it correct when they did not do it correct, and telling you a location is somewhere else. So they're giving you all the basic wrong information and getting you to do something wrong when it was their mistake. Remember that if you have placed an object in one particular location and then the object was moved, and you will know because you're keeping track, as opposed to someone who's being confused because somebody's projecting a dual information, and then they would use that in order to confuse what you're doing. You will know where what is because you're focusing as opposed to being distracted on your objective. Who said what and how they said it. You may also want to record just to keep track of who said what, because they're going to lie as to what they said and what they've done or what they had asked you to do, and then saying, oh, I didn't say that, and then come to realize when you recorded they did indeed do what they said they didn't do. They actually done it because they're lying. Keeping track in the brain will actually let your real brain, the other brain is keeping track of your office, rest a lot more, because you don't have to think with your mind because you're keeping everything well documented, as opposed to always trying to recall what was it exactly that person had said when you had either recorded it or documented it, and or in documented form. This way you're not racking your brains, but you're simply just following the procedure to alleviate your mind and make things easier upon yourself. Positive condition is the steps that it makes to continue to think, feel, and be happy. Positive conditioning on its own own chapter. Some people call it guided meditation, but it's also greater than that, which we will go over at a later time. And then we have something called as base. Base is basically choosing to stay and be in a positive mood after your positive conditioning. Because with somebody negative conditioning, you're not thinking of base. In other words, being in a calm state, relaxed mind, mentally and physically, they may get agitated and irritated, so they will be continuing on this worry state of mind, as opposed to one who knows the way things work, so he's always at rest and relaxed and not stressing himself out. So others try to project these negative onto you for you to be overstimulated, as opposed to one who would be at base, because base meaning in a relaxed, calm state of being. So after you condition yourself positively, or unless you have a person that also is positive, you can condition one another with positive words, actions, and deeds. Conditioning yourself, because if you don't condition yourself positively, you're only left with other people conditioning you negatively, and therefore you're polluting your water, who you are. So you can choose to stay calm as opposed to being worried, being a loving or patient, relaxed state of being, and being sincere, honest, and in a joyful state of being strong and confident, and in a cooperative state of action, decisive, focused, and clear. maintaining a confident state of being, and having positive self-esteem, all derived from your inward being courageous, being trustworthy. Even though they are untrustworthy, you continue to be trustworthy because all these traits manifest themselves within you, and therefore you grow and become stronger, and you learn, and so forth. Choosing this form of energy, meaning the positive energy, regardless of any circumstances or situation or problems that you are in, will help you to overcome such negative projection. Being honest with yourself as opposed to deceiving yourself, and also honest with others, gives you credibility as opposed to someone who is really trying to be someone that they're not and saying something that is not so. So you can choose to be who you are. Your body knows and can read what is being expressed in other people and how you feel within yourself, because there are people that would lie about how they meant something. So, positive redundant thoughts, while you're conditioning yourself, manifests in itself as you're conditioning yourself with your beliefs that empower you, enabling you to have a positive perception, a positive way of thinking, a positive way of troubleshooting, as opposed to having negative redundant thoughts that would keep you like a hamster, just running around in a wheel, just going nowhere with a lot of effort. Your thoughts are a very powerful tool, and usually a psychiatrist will attest to how your thoughts can help you in your healing process, either mentally or even in a placebo effect. In the placebo effect, in which a mere thought that something may help you can indeed send messages to the body to help it heal itself. How far your beliefs can go is up to you. Positive redundant thoughts is knowing how to maneuver and positively in your mind to constantly keep up in such a way that your mind is relaxed and calm and yet knows which route to take in solutions and in thought patterns. As like, if others don't believe in yourself, that's one thing, but it is you and how you believe in yourself that would give you the ability to actually succeed. Being able to believe that you can change also negatives into positives will help balance out the negative and redirecting your thought pattern. Believing that you love yourself as opposed to hating yourself because other people hate you, but that is their hang-up, that is their coming from their source of their being. But you being choosing positive, you will love yourself and therefore not wanting to hurt yourself, but heal yourself and treat yourself in a positive, loving manner, and keeping your mind in this positive dialogue. Communicating with yourself positively means that every day you can say something nice to yourself and not be bullied by a negative inner dialogue, which is the ego that tends to relay messages from negative energy and a negative energy source. like mentally telling yourself that you can handle anything that arises, that you are strong, and that you are choosing to believe in the good and not believe in those who hate you, those who persecute you, and that have a negative perception of you. It is one thing when someone else tells you that you are less than, that you are no good, but it is something totally, entirely different when you say that to yourself. So you can choose also not to judge life as being unfair or bad, but instead comprehend that the positive and negative things happen to you every day at every given second. Even if someone is being tortured around the clock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there is a plateau of pain and suffering. And even if this plateau is reached, one still can receive positive energy that can comfort you and relieve you in times of stress. Your thoughts bring forth your actions and who you are and what you mean. So if your actions seem negative, but your motives are positive, even if a negative person will know that what you had meant was not to hurt them, but to indeed help them. You can choose never to give up, to stay positive, to forgive, to create love when there is none, to never stop caring. Therefore, when any problems arise, you can go into that solution mode, initiating a solution and then move on. Keeping a blank mind so your mind isn't overthinking and overstimulated. So not being overwhelmed by keeping things in their perspective. Your objective in life is simply to do the best you can and not worry or concern yourself with overthinking. Not concern yourself with riches or fame in case people suppress you, but instead just condition yourself in this positive state of being at peace and calm, keeping yourself upbeat, being hopeful to the end and to the time passing, being positive regardless of how many will come against you, especially in this particular time. Every day continue to talk to yourself in such a manner and with inner dialogue that you are your best friend. And eventually your mind will start to work on its own in that same direction. Negative people work on this dialogue by getting you to focus and think with your internal dialogue, which is important for you or either your best friend or your worst enemy. Positive, redundant actions also help you when you work towards a positive self of being and are based on positive motives. Therefore, that's why it's so important to have positive motives and positive beliefs that come from a positive energy. And our basic solutions to these negative, redundant actions and projections that are being rained upon many of us or all of us at the same particular fashion and form. Negative, redundant actions means that they are negative motives from a negative base, and they are projecting it on you. Although the actions can appear to be positive at times, so basically they're doing something positive for a negative reason. Although the action can appear to be positive, there is something in that particular action that makes it negative because the motive in the negative is exposed, again, by the 14. So there's a chink in their chain that says exactly how they meant it. And once you learn the procedures and the way things work in the human instruction, you will be able to identify in the very second that they are lying, or the very second that and how it went south and how it's negative. An example would be somebody giving you something for free, and it would seem very nice